I can talk to.
You ain't never talking, huh? My family ain't got nothing to do with you and me.
Now, over these last few episodes since what went down with Unique and Ronnie in episode 5, they've been building up to one big showdown between Ronnie, Rock, and Kanan. They've been moving a lot of chess pieces in position by having Rock come back into the street game, Ronnie taking Kanan under his wing. He's also introduced him to Snaps, Pop, and a few other well-respected older heads in the streets. There's also signs of Duke and Kanan's relationship taking a turn, with other few plots that we are going to be breaking down in this video. But it is all a build up to one big showdown between Ronnie and Rock, with Kanan being at the center of this tug of war. So in this video, we're going to be running through all things Ronnie versus Rock. We're going to be looking at a few parallels between Tariq and the younger Kanan, and how Rock could actually win this war in a very similar fashion to what we saw play out in OG Power. But when we talk about chess pieces being put into place, we're also going to be running through how Duke and Marvin are also tangled in this web, and how Ronnie might do something which could actually end up being the catalyst for a turn in his relationship with Kanan in Raising Kanan Season 3. Now, Ronnie's hatred for Rock really runs deep, just like how Kanan used to hate Ghost back in Power. Rooted deep in their history was a betrayal from Ghost. He sent him down because he wanted to take over the business and expand in ways Kanan wouldn't, but also because he couldn't bring himself to killing someone who helped raise and mentor him. So when he came out and learned that his son Tariq shared the same hatred, he thought of the perfect plan: use Tariq to attack Ghost. In essence, we're seeing something very similar play out in Raising Kanan. Ronnie's hatred for Rock really runs deep, and he's using Kanan to not just further his ambitions in the streets, but also to hurt Rock.
If we thought you was with Rock, we'd be talking to Rock.
Fuck Rock.
Now, we don't actually know what Rock has done directly to Ronnie for him to hate her that much, besides getting into bed with Unique and before that, messing with Unique's operation while he was inside. Whether he knows about Rock being a CI or even has an inkling of who she really is, we won't exactly know until we learn a bit more about their history, which I'm for one hoping that we do. Very similar to how we saw Kanan poisoning Tariq's mind about what Ghost used to be like back in the day. I really wouldn't mind hearing Ronnie take Kanan back in time and giving him some history lessons. We may even learn a bit more through Rock's interactions with Snaps and Pop in 308, so that's just something to keep in mind. Now, this war isn't just about control over Kanan, it goes hand in hand with street business. So with Ronnie taking Kanan under his wing, we are going to see them get down to business by getting the heroin operation up and running, which will be through Kanan's courier system. Ronnie decided to bring Kanan on board for a few reasons. He hates Rock, and using Kanan only works in his favor, but also because Kanan has his courier system that runs across all 5 boroughs of New York. So through his courier system, Kanan and Ronnie can actually begin to move their weight that they're sourcing through Juliana pretty much straight away. In contrast, Rock actually has to start from scratch. We know she's capable of building a new empire, but she's still yet to figure out all the logistics, especially transportation, which is something Unique was said to be struggling with and something he couldn't get into place. Now, at this moment in time, Rock does know that Kanan is getting mixed in with Ronnie, Snaps, and Pop, which is thanks to Duke, but she doesn't know what the work is, and there are a few ways she could find out. Quan will warn her she has competition, but I think she's going to find out either from Panessa or from Joaquin.
Why is the lady from the bodega here?
It's not good for people to see us together.
So let's not forget Panessa did walk in on Ronnie and Juliana, where she specifically said, "Why is the woman from the bodega here?" So even though Ronnie threatened Panessa outside her mother's, I wouldn't be surprised if she actually goes to Rock and tells her she saw Ronnie with Juliana, and then it doesn't take a genius to work out who Ronnie's connect is. Now, on a quick side note, when Ronnie threatened Panessa, I think this should have been the wake-up call to tell her, yeah, Ronnie was the one who did that to Unique at the tailoring shop. In 306, she told Rock Ronnie loved Unique, so she didn't quite believe that he was the one who got rid of him. Whether she now knows, and this pushes her into telling Rock, let's wait and see. But either way, I do think Panessa may still have a role to play going forward. Now, another perspective and a way in which Rock could find out is through Joaquin. Juliana is obviously getting a product from her cousin, and again, it won't take a genius to work out product is missing, and Juliana is making moves behind his back, with someone who Joaquin didn't want to get into business with, let's not forget. So either way, however Rock finds out, whether it's through Panessa, Joaquin, or in another way, I do think it only ends with one outcome: Juliana's death and Rock taking out her competition's connect. Now, I was actually rewatching a couple of episodes back from the first season, and I also noticed that Rock actually took care of Juliana's husband in 108. So 2 seasons later in 308, we know she's going to have the silencer back on her gun. So I do think it's going to be the other half who does bite the dust. But what about the aftermath? They're putting all of these chess moves in place. They're going to take a few off the chessboard, but what happens when Rock makes her move? Here's where it starts to get a little spicy and a little troublesome in the streets. I think at first, Rock will try and do what she can to try and pull Kanan away from what Duke likes to call thugsters, but I don't think that will work. There's clearly some history and tension here with Snap saying he made the game, which won't go down well with Rock, because not only does she not kneel to no man, nobody gets in the way of her relationship with Kanan, just like she used to say back in seasons 1 and 2. Although if we were to be honest, I think we can safely say what relationship, there is none. They may be putting on a show for people like Laura Watts from Child Services, but that's all it is, it's a show. Now Rock thinks she can still control him and win him back. She thinks what she's done is for his own benefit, and that one day he'll understand why she's done what she's done. And look, who knows, until she opens up and actually comes clean, we'll actually never know. Kanan might actually understand, but by then, it will probably be way too late. Now when Rock actually gets nowhere between this meeting between Snaps and Pop, I think she'll have no option but to go on the offensive, do what she does best, and what we've seen her do in the past, take out her competition. Rock will fuck with Kanan and Ronnie's business, there is no two ways about it. I do think she'll take care of Juliana. She's gonna mess with their courier system, and I mean if she has to go to Howard to give police some information, we have seen her do that in the past. So if Rock wants to take it that far and play that dirty, we know she can. Although with law enforcement it is something she may want to avoid this time around. However, having said that, Ronnie isn't the kind of guy that will take this shit lightly. So when Rock starts to make her moves on Kanan and Ronnie's operation, Ronnie will retaliate.
She ain't gonna bother you no more.
Now one way in which I do think Ronnie could strike is by hurting Duke. A few of you guys pointed out in my trailer breakdown, these guys could have actually been sent by Ronnie, because as he sat eating his Honey Nut Cheerios while Duke pushed Kanan, I don't think he would have liked Kanan being treated with disrespect.
I can talk to.
You ain't never talking, huh?
Now Kanan did make a point of how Ronnie isn't speak to Duke, but that could actually serve as the catalyst and the turning point in their relationship, especially if Ronnie does go and do something to Jukebox behind Kanan's back. But not only could it cause issues between Ronnie and Kanan, if Ronnie dares to make a move against Duke, then Marvin will definitely flip a switch. So far he's been pretty calm, but you can tell with this brewing war, if Marvin needs to step up, he will, especially if it involves Duke. Now if Rock is to win the showdown and war against Ronnie, she will need Marvin, that's for sure, but I feel like she's gonna have to unite her entire family, and that includes Kanan. And this is where we go back to the parallels to Kanan's story and Tariq's story in OG Power. Kanan was his best friend and he built a very close bond with him, but he ended up having to make a decision between protecting his mother Tasha or protecting Kanan. Now even though he wasn't happy about being backed into a corner by Tasha and Angela, he did do what needed to be done to protect his mother. With this situation, they all knew the only person that could get close enough to Kanan where he would drop his guard would be around Tariq. They also knew how it would go down. Kanan wasn't going to go back to prison. So having said that, I can see it playing out very similar to that scenario where Kanan eventually chooses Rock over Ronnie, because he's the only character that can get close enough to Ronnie. Although one question I do think we have to ask is, why would Kanan choose Rock after all the lies and manipulation? I do feel if Kanan is to choose his mother, then she needs to have a genuine and honest conversation with Kanan and come clean about who she really is, what she's done, and why she's done some of the things she's done in the past. Again, very similar to how Tasha and Ghost had to come clean about who they were, where they came from, the murders that they've had to commit, and so on. I do feel if Rock does stand a chance to get Kanan back on side, even if it is in the short term against Ronnie, then she will have to come clean. Let's not forget, they have been dropping subtle hints about the past, such as the High Post mention, and I do think we are going to learn a bit more, but I want to hear it from Rock's mouth. Just like how Monet had an honest conversation with Diana, which actually made her realize she was making a mistake. So let's see if Rock has this honest conversation with Kanan, because something will have to give when it comes to Ronnie's character. So with that being said, that's a breakdown of where we are at this moment in time on the chessboard with this war between Rock, Kanan and Ronnie, with a few thoughts and theories based on a few parallels we've seen across the Power universe. So drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section and let me know how you see this playing out going into the home stretch, because there are a lot of factors that do come into play, from Ronnie retaliating to Rock's moves, Kanan potentially not liking the moves Ronnie makes, could Rock actually come clean to Kanan to get him back on side, and then there's also the Duke and Marvin angle. Drop all your comments down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.